guys, Clint Brown here, and I wanted to teach you one of the best tips I know for remembering people's names when you meet them at live events. And this is typically probably one of the ways you generate new business. And I learned this from a good friend of mine named Jason, who is just magical at remembering people's names. And so I asked him, how do you do it? He said, well, I play this game, and it's called the Relational Stack. And so this is something that you could use at a live event or anywhere where there's real people. You could use online if you want to do too, but if you've ever been to a live get-together and then you go home, and maybe by the time you get home, some people have already Facebook friended you, and you want to continue that dialogue, or maybe you go Facebook friend them or hooked up on LinkedIn or Twitter, and you need to kind of continue the conversation so they can help grow your business. And so if you gather the right information while you're in person, it makes the online experience very, very easy. So I'm going to play this little game with you, and I want you to play along with me, and then you'll see how valuable this is when you transition from a live event into the online experience. So let's go ahead and get started. So I want you to think of a nameplate, right? Like the kind that sits on a desk, like an executive's desk. Right, so you get a nameplate, and on top of that nameplate is a house. And inside that house, there's people running around, right? So we got a nameplate, house, people running around inside the house. And out of the second story of that house, there's an arm coming out with a work glove on the hand. Right, so we got nameplate, house, people running around inside the house, someone hanging out the window with a work glove on. Right, so right now you're thinking, what the heck video am I watching? This guy's crazy. Inside that work glove is an airplane, a toy airplane, right? So, nameplate, house, people running around inside the house, a person's arm hanging out the window with a work glove on. Inside the work glove is a toy airplane, and instead of propellers, you guys are probably old enough to remember airplanes with propellers, right? Instead of propellers, there's tennis rackets on the airplane. And then screwed into the tennis racket, the strings, is a light bulb. Alright, so let's go back through it. We got nameplate, house, people running around inside the house, right? A work glove, someone hanging out the window wearing a work glove holding a toy airplane that has tennis rackets for propellers and a light bulb screwed into the strings. That right there is exactly how you're going to gather the right information at a live event, surprisingly. That's going to help you do well online. So let me kind of break it down for you, and then in the video that follows up this one, we'll really kind of go into detail, and I'll show you exactly how I would use that online. So the nameplate is when you meet somebody, you typically ask them their name, right? And their house is where they live. So I'm from South Dakota, so when I meet people, I ask them, hey, where are you from? Or they ask me, where am I from? And we swap that information. The key is to remember it. This relational stack is a visual memory cue of what to ask people and help you remember it when you get back home to rebuild that sequence in your mind, right? Because you can picture all the things I told you with the work glove and the airplane. And so if you can associate that with their name and the information you gathered, you'll be able to remember it when you get home. That's because that's how our brain works. It works through visual memory and associative memory. And now I'll give you a quick for instance, and then I'll get back to the detail. Have you ever remembered something upstairs, maybe in your house or in the basement or out in the garage, and then you go into the kitchen and or the living room and you can't remember what it is you were trying to remember, so then you go back to where you were and you can remember it? And then if you're like me, I remember upstairs that I need to find my wallet, and I go downstairs and I can't remember what I'm looking for, and I go back upstairs and I remember that I need my wallet, and then as I go down the stairs I say, okay, find your wallet, find your wallet. Well, that works because our brain associates visual information with the thought that we have. So my brain remembered I'm in my bedroom, I need my wallet. Well, when I got out of my bedroom, my brain couldn't conjure up what it was I was thinking about. Well, this is why we forget people's names and information about them when we leave the event, because you remember their name and about their kids and what they do for work while you're standing there, but you didn't associate it with anything else. So when you left that environs, all that information just went off into the ether. All right, so you're going to ask them their name. You're going to ask them about where they live. You're going to ask them about their family, and it's the people running around inside the house. Even if people don't have a family, they'll talk about not having a family, right? So I always ask people about their family. Ask them what they do for work, right? That's the work glove, right? So their name, where they live, about their family, about work. The airplane is travel. Where have you traveled to? Or where are you traveling to? Even if people don't travel, that could be a story of them not traveling. Or people are very traveled, and I like to know that information. And so they'll tell you. If you say, hey, where have you traveled to this year? And they'll say, well, I'm not traveling anywhere. Well, where are you traveling next year? People always have an answer for that. The tennis racket, right, instead of propellers is, what do they like to do in their free time? I ask people, the question I ask is, what do you do when you're not at work? and they'll say, oh, I'm really into this, or I help with my kids' Boy Scouts, or it does, whatever it is, it's their thing. And then the light bulb screwed in the strings is just after asking them all those questions, you did a follow-up question, did a light turn on in your head? But the nice thing is when you get back, you can run through that visual stack with the nameplate house and all that, and you'll be able to remember, so if you got their business card or something, you'll be able to remember all that information about them. So that's the relational stack, and in the follow-up video, you're going to be able to see how to take that online. What do you do with that information when you get back on Facebook? I'll show you exactly how you get from knowing that information to getting to your opportunity or presentation or website or whatever it is that is appropriate for your business. Thanks.